We're recording. Sweet.
Start off. Do you have any questions, Jenna, or anything that you like need advice on? Or
not that I can really think of. No. It's more just me still dealing with the unpredictability with my lifestyle, just because there's some days where I can get so much work done because Brenna cooperates, and there's other days that's literally like I have 5 minutes where I got stuff done. So some days it's literally I can spend like hours just plugging in like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and then there's other times that it's just chaotic, and I've just kind of learned that that's my life right now.
and that's totally okay. Like that, I feel like that's totally okay that you give yourself grace, that you do what you can,
right?
That you have, and yeah, you've been so consistent, which I think is like humongous. So,
well, thanks. And I'm learning that because at first, like inviting was uncomfortable for me, but I've kind of just learned that, I celebrate those no's. I'm more comfortable inviting any of that. Like it just doesn't matter to me anymore. So just slowly growing that way. And
that's awesome. Yeah, I do. That's like the best feeling ever when it's like, it just doesn't bother you anymore. That sounds terrible, but it's so true. It's like, nah, okay.
Right?
and at least they said no too, because no is just me. It's not right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back in a year.
They say no, they still follow you. I'm like, okay, perfect. I didn't upset you at least.
Yeah, for sure. Because Jenna had like a couple hater comments.
Oh my gosh. I got some pretty brutal ones. I'm like, hey now.
Were they people you knew, or were they like not people you knew?
No, they were completely
that's good.
Flatly. So that was
I'm like, oh my gosh, were they people?
I know. It was like one that I spent like, I swear, it was like a post or a message that I had worked on for like 20 minutes. I'm like, yes, this is a good one. And I sent it, and she's like, I got this long message back. She's like, honey, tell your upline thanks for writing that for you, because that obviously didn't come from you. I'm like, hey, at least hate on something that I didn't craft myself. I was like, I
did. First off,
there's a girl on our team that she calls it her block party, and she's like, welcome to my block party.
I love it.
Press that button.
The best part is she liked your
not
phone.
even engage in here. Block, delete, done.
Yeah, I know. I have one. The best part is like when someone follows me, and then I will like not reach out, but I'll just like thank them. Like, thanks for the follow. And they're like, just so you know, I'm an airborne girl. Like, just said hi, thanks.
Right.
Like, all right. Good.
Like Arbonne?
Or is it Arbonne? How do you say that? Is it Arbonne?
I think Arbonne.
It's Arbonne. Why did I say Arbonne? I don't know. See, clearly that's how much I know about that.
I thought it was just like a States accent.
No, it's a JC accent.
I had somebody the other day ask what Energize was, and they're like, oh, is that from Beach Party? I'm like, yeah, because they asked, and she's like, oh, figures. I'm like, hey, if you don't want to know, then don't ask.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, people are so
weird, but you've gotten the confidence now that you can handle all those.
You're right.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. You're like seasoned. She's ready. She's like, bring it on.
Got this. Throw it at me. Come on.
Gosh. But no other like questions or concerns or anything that you want. And it's okay if you don't.
I really don't. I kind of just cool. I take any recommendations that you guys have, and I just kind of work it the best into my routine and all that. Like the power hour never worked for me because I typically don't have a full hour to sit. So I get what I can done, and then I kind of break it up into like little pockets, like JC always talks about. So that works best for me, unless it's in the morning. Like mornings are my time.
No, and I love that because I do feel like we do these power hours, which we love, but it's like just a reminder that if you can come on for even if it's like 5-10 minutes, that's totally fine. It's just accountability. And we obviously have the time, so we make it work and we try to fit your guys' schedule. But obviously, like it doesn't work all the time, and that's totally okay. And that's the beautiful thing is you can work in pockets. So yeah, that's awesome. I know, so like thinking forward to Diamond, something to consider as like you're having conversations and, like signing people up or you know, whatever, is to obviously, it's kind of like if you go back to Emerald and you think about your, you know, the 2 people that are closest to you and you want to sign up, you want to hit Emerald, you hit Emerald, right? Now, the best way to think of Diamond is to just do that again, right? Hit Emerald again. So get 2 more coaches, hit Emerald again, get 2 more coaches, hit Emerald again, get 2 more coaches. And it doesn't have to be like, I feel like sometimes, or at least when I was going for Diamond, I kind of overcomplicated because I thought like, oh my gosh, I need to get all these working coaches, you know, and I need to like have them work the business because they need to hit Emerald and they need to do X, Y, and Z. I way overcomplicated it. So to save you from doing that, obviously, like any person that you talk to, like if they want to join or like a challenge pack or whatever, don't be afraid to offer them the discount ever, because if you can get a discount coach, that obviously contributes and that's awesome. And also to keep in mind, for those of you that have signed up your spouse, that's an account that you now can build. Obviously we want you guys to get to a safe, or I don't know what the word is. I call it a safe Emerald. So we want to make sure you're holding that Emerald spot and keeping that Emerald spot. So like, obviously if you feel like one of your people might go inactive, then we want to really make sure that we get that leg build back up. But, then thinking about how we can get that spouse up to Emerald, because that's how Josh had got me to Diamond, because I built his up. Not that you have to, remember, you don't have to, but it's just an easy way to manipulate that. And obviously to get then more volume, more income, more whatever. And then, yeah, going from there and trying, like the goal would be really cool to find like 1 working coach. That would be awesome, because then obviously that person could get, or more than 1, obviously, but at least 1, you guys know what I mean? Because then you could, they obviously could get to Emerald as well, but just don't ever discredit discount coaches. Don't discount coaches. I heard that one time. True. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Carly, I don't know.
I'm just going to add on to that. I personally ask everybody if they want the discount. I just phrase it as a VIP discount for them and just explain it. Sometimes if I know the person well enough, I'll just go ahead and do it and tell them after that I did it in a voice note, to explain everything that they're getting and tell them that they're getting this free discount, sign up for free. They can cancel after a month if they want, no big deal. Another thing that I heard the other day was that they go and ask the people that they're signing up if they just phrase it in a way that if you are going to run the business, just let me know and I'm going to place you in a good spot in my line that will benefit you. So then they can like come back at you and be like, hey, well, maybe one day I'll be interested in running the business. Then you know, like if they're going to be a business builder, you obviously want them under you. But if they say like, I have 0 interest in running the business, like don't talk to me about that, I just want the discount, then you can put them under your spouse instead, because they're just going to be a discount. And that's kind of a better way when you're trying to build yourself to Diamond, because if they're going to potentially be a business builder in a month or whatever, then they could potentially be one of your Emeralds, so you'll want them under you. So that was another way, like I heard, just to ask them without asking them if they want to coach. So I thought that was neat. Um,
Yep, and I always try to present it too, like you get 30 days of it. If they sign up with the challenge pack, obviously you get 30 days of it for free. Like you can try it for 30 days. It's a discount if you end up loving Shakeology or Performance Line or whatever they sign up with it, you know, you'll end up saving money. But of course, like if they say, I heard this on a call one time too, like the worst thing that they can say is, no, I don't want the discount. Like they're not going to run, you know, so many times people are afraid to even ask, and it's like, they're not going to not sign up. Like they're already in. And if they say no to the discount, they say no to the discount. It's really not a big deal. Cause eventually they probably will say yes, or they will want, maybe to even coach. But that is a good point, because I did also forgot that I did do a lot of that in the beginning. I signed a lot of just discount coaches up under Josh, just to get coaches under him. And then I kept the business building, or the people who, wanted to work the business, under myself. But another important thing to remember, please don't do what I did, because this is what I did for, I wish I could say my whole first year, but I would say like my whole like 2-3+ years I did this. So please don't do what I did. But you cannot find people to work the business if you don't talk about the business. You can't. Like you will forever be selling challenge packs your entire life. I am a true blue statement of that, where you, like, I can hit Success Club and I can rock that till I'm blue in the face. But finding coaches was impossible because I was never talking about the business. I was never talking about coaching and what it's done for me. So just a goal to keep in mind, not that I'm not trying to like add things on your plate, but just keep this in mind, that once a week, like having a post once a week that talks about coaching should be like on your, somewhere on your week, somewhere on your to-do for your social media. And then trying to talk about the business at least once a day. Like obviously on the weekends, like I'll kind of sprinkle in the flexibility sides, but sometimes on the weekends I might not talk about the business. But Monday through Friday, my goal is to say something about this business, just so people know that I'm actually like, that there's a business and that they know that. Because I promise you, if you think people will just like show up in your back pocket, they don't. And if they do for you, I'm gonna be a little jealous. I'm gonna be really happy, but a little jealous.
And just know that you don't have to have like huge success to talk about the business. You don't have to be making $1,000 a week to talk about your income that you made. Literally, if you earn $50 in the week and that paid for your groceries, or that paid for your kids' diapers, or that paid for your gas or your phone bill or whatever it was, if that helped you and impacted you in some way, talk about that. You can talk about coaching in other ways too, like not only successes about maybe income, but also building your community, what it has done for your confidence, your leadership skills. There are so many ways that you can talk about coaching, and also handling other objections too. So when I started, my biggest objection was, I don't want to sell shit. Like, I'm not selling anything to anybody. Get out of here. I'm not coaching. No, thank you. And so that's what I talk about now, because that was my biggest objection. Like, I did not want to coach, and thank goodness my coach was persistent enough, but I did not want to coach. And I just done a purge on my social media, deleted everybody that I didn't talk to. I had was the biggest introvert of introverts. And those are the things that I talk about now, are things that I told my coach back then, because then I will find people like me. And so there's so many other ways that you can talk about coaching other than just your successes with income. So if you haven't had that huge income success, just talk about other successes or wins that you have had with coaching.
And that's so true. Yeah, that's so true. Because you don't have to be making any money to talk about the benefits of just coaching in general. So that's 100% true. I don't know. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say one more thing. This was kind of like a truth bomb to us. I listened to it from Keith Callahan. If you haven't read this book, I strongly recommend you go and buy it. He is a Beachbody coach. He's $1 million earner. and he's really not even like high up in rank. He has just built a solid base foundation. And he just mentioned the other day to us that he said that you have all the tools, you have all the information, you can hop on these team calls, you can watch every single information training, but if you aren't going and doing the behind the scenes stuff and taking what you learned on these calls and going to put it into action, then there's no point in listening to these calls. You have to go and take your Success Club tracker and go and invite people, go and talk to people, go and connect with people. You have to go and do the actions that this business is for it to work, because it's not just gonna magically happen. You can post on your stories, you can post on your social media, but if you don't get into your inbox and actually make those connections and talk to people, you're not going to have a business, because no one's going to know what you do, because half the time people don't read the posts. So if you don't get into their inboxes, they aren't going to know that you exist. So take what you learned from this, take what you learned from Summit, take what you learned from the past however long you've been coaching, and go and just implement a couple things, whether it's the way you invite, changing up your inviting, whether you changing up your posting on your stories, talking more about coaching, whatever it is, just take those few tidbits and go and implement them this week and for the rest of the month kind of thing, and do more and then learn after.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100% implement. I mean, I feel like so often it's so easy to get like wrapped up in trainings and trying to learn. But the best thing you can do is implement and learn as you go, because that's the only way that you'll really know kind of how you vibe and how you, and how you connect with people and how you get better. And it's just like the invites, like it gets easier. So does everything else, like the talking about things and the talking about coaching and all that. It gets better the more you implement. So yeah, that's a really good point.
And just, I don't know, Jason, do you have anything else to say?
I don't know, probably like should ask, and you guys, if you're not sure, you can like think about it for 2 seconds, but what, like, if you were to think about when you would like to hit diamond, when would that be?
I mean, I want it to be realistic. So I
Mhm.
also lost my emeralds because the person that I signed up dropped the coaching. So I have to work on that, and I've been inviting as like a VIP member, offering that when I've invited, and in the process. I want it to be realistic, because I feel like if I don't make it real, like if I tell you in a month I want to do it and then I don't do it, I'm going to, because I know myself, I'm going to be like, nope, I didn't reach the goal. That's it. I suck. I stink. I want nothing to do with it. So I want it to be realistic. And the fact that I have to get the second coach now, I know I need like more time. So I don't know if you have recommendations on making it realistic. That would be super helpful.
I have one tip. It's work backwards. So if you need 7 coaches and say you have to invite 50 people to get 1 coach or 1 customer, then how many invites are you going to have to do to get 7 coaches? So 7 times 50, someone do the math, 350, 400.
350.
350.
I keep muting because my husband is being loud in the background, so don't mind me.
Okay, so 350 invites. So if you have to send out 350 invites, how many are you going to have to send out in every single week? Then how many are you going to have to send out every single day? And just kind of work backwards that way. And then you could say if you have to send out 5 invites every single day for the next 2 months, and that will get you up to your 350 invites. I'm not going to do math right now, but if that's what it is, then say 2 months from now, then you'll be diamond, right? So just kind of work backwards like that. And if those are your numbers, I'm not sure what your numbers are. That's why the Success Club tracker is so handy, especially for writing how many invites you sent out. So I sent out 5 yesterday, whatever. Then the next day I sent out 3. That's 8 in 2 days. So if you can count as many you send up in a single week and just kind of work your way backwards from that. And hopefully that will kind of give you a little more of an estimation of when your diamond date will be.
Thank you. That was really helpful. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. I never looked at it like that. So I
Mhm.
probably would have not have said that. I would have been like, we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. If it does help too, for any indication, I had listened to a training this morning, and like one of the top coaches had said, because one of the questions that was asked was like, you know, how do you get diamonds, or how do you help diamonds advance, or blah, 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 blah. And what this top coach had said, like realistically, it is 30 to 60 days. Like realistically, like 30 is awesome, like totally awesome. It can totally happen. 60 days absolutely could like happen in like somewhere in between there. So if like a number helps, that is what was told. I know everybody's different. Like there's some coaches who can hit diamond in a week, and there's some coaches who, like it obviously takes that like full couple months to get there. So absolutely do not get discouraged. Just remember, if you're staying consistent and you talk about the business, that will help. I never did that. Like, please don't do what I did. Please. If I could go back, I'm like, oh, that was fun. just never going to talk about that.
And don't be scared about like diamond. It is a huge deal, and it's a huge deal to rank advance to diamond. But if you think about it, it's only 8 people. 8 people. That's it. 12 total, I guess, if you want to count your 2 emeralds. But it's just 8 people. And I 100% know you got 8 people in your life that, whether it's family or friends, I know you have 8 people that could use something like this, or maybe they're complete strangers, but I know you have 8 people on your social media that need something like this. And it's just that decision that you want it bad enough that you're going to put in the work to take yourself to diamond.
Yep, that's a good way of looking at it too. Like because sometimes the whole goal of it seems so far away, but when you break it down, you're like, oh yeah, 8 people. Yeah, absolutely. Jenna, how about you?
Well, first of all, I want to say you saying that 30 to 60 made me feel so much better, because I'm like, of course, there's people that we're all at different places in our journey here. But I saw so many people like beginning of August and their tracker was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Like mini mental breakdown here. I was like, how am I going to do that? I think realistically for me, because I have a couple in mind that I think eventually will, but I also need to give them the time to get there, because we've had the conversations, they're still following, they're still interacting, but they're not quite ready to take the leap, but they're still active, they're wanting to participate in things. And I think also with our group challenge that's going to be coming up, I can not only invite them to the boot camp as well as offer them that VIP. So I think that will be an advantage to me. So I feel like mid to end September will be more realistic to me, especially with everything that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's awesome. 100% awesome. And I think we definitely could. And I get like really excited about Team Cup. And because I know all of us are on a team, because that really like is a chance to really just like make you set some, or not even set goals, but do things that make you want to vomit. And so, which sounds really fun, right? You're like,
I want that chair.
Sign me up for all the Team Cups. I want to vomit my guts out. Just kidding. But it really does, like it really makes you do some crazy things that you never thought, like you're like, oh, there's no way like this is going to take me so long. or, you know, like I really want to hit Success Club. And then you'll have brand new coaches who come on a team cup and they hit Success Club like 50. And that's a thing, like that totally happens. And I'm not saying that that's a normal thing that happens, but I'm just saying it totally happens. And I think that as long as you guys can keep that belief in yourself, because that's the biggest thing. Like Carly was saying, diamond's a rank, right? Like it's, yes, it's important. Yes, it's huge. Yes, absolutely. We want you to get there. But what's more important is you believing you can get there, and you actually like doing the actions in the belief that you have this goal and this vision and that you can keep going towards it and not get discouraged when maybe you don't hit diamond in 30 days or you don't, you know, like a coach cancels or whatever the case may be. Is just knowing that you have this vision and no one can rob you of that vision. So just keep that in mind as well, that your biggest superpower is the belief in yourself.
Like that.
Definitely. I've noticed throughout all of this that like I can be my own worst enemy, but yet my own biggest cheerleader at the same time. Like Shay had said, you know, there's times where we don't hit something and then we kind of step back and like reevaluate things, but then at the same point it's like, okay, I didn't hit that, so what am I going to do differently this time to get to where I want to? So for example, when I wasn't being as consistent right away, I've noticed kind of how you've told us before, what you did last month is going to reflect now, and I'm seeing it more. So I feel like that's a bigger push to me too, to keep going where I'm going, keep it pushing how many invites I did. Last week or 2 weeks ago, maybe I only did 5, maybe I need to do 10 now. So it's kind of just having a race within yourself almost, that I've noticed too. So I feel like changing my mentality towards it has helped as well.
Yeah, I love that, because I truly think the like failures in this business have nothing to do with the business itself. It has everything to do with ourselves, 100%, because we don't believe in ourselves. And that's why, like, I can't, and I'm sure Carly's the same, I cannot stress enough having that vision, writing it down every day or reading it every day, because that's how, and not only that, I had also read or listened to something from John Maxwell. If you don't know who John Maxwell is, he's like a big personal development guy. So if you don't know who he is, now you know. And he said that you'll never have 2 good days in a row in a business. Like you'll have one day where you're on fire and you're like pumped. And then the next day someone will say no, or maybe just your belief isn't there, and that's normal. And that sounds terrible because you're like, why do I want to feel bad about myself? But that's not, the goal isn't to recognize you feeling bad about yourself. The goal is, how can you work on that mindset to become better and be like, yeah, all right, they said no, who cares? Or, you know, this coach canceled. Yep, that sucks, but we're going to move on and we're going to build up. So just keeping those things in mind, that you working on yourself and working on that mindset will be your biggest form of success in anything in this business, rank wise, Success Club wise, anything wise, but it has to start with you and your mindset for sure. Well, anything else, girls, or any other questions? Or Carly, do you have anything else?
No, that was awesome.
Oh, it was good conversation, good questions. And Shay, do you have any questions or anything?
I have to ask him to be quiet. I'm sorry. I live with the loudest man on earth. No, but I do want to say that, you know, JC, you've always been great, always been on our side. Carly, though, like the addition of you has just been so awesome. I just think, you know, when we talk about building community and, you know, getting to know people, even just thinking about where you guys all live, you know, I live in Connecticut. I'm on the East Coast. It's 9:30 right now here. I'm like, yeah, you know, but for Carly, it's like 7:30. You know, and that's cool to just know people all over the place just because of, I'm going to just say because of a workout program. I know it's more than that, but the basis of what it is. And, you know, I'm thankful all the time, you know, for the people that I've met, even just being brave enough to invite people to something. You don't know these people. You don't know their story. You don't know anything about them and you're trying to recruit them, you know, it's just made me more outgoing and willing, easier to accept no. It's just been, for me personally, and I know JC, we've talked about this before, but it's just been the best thing for me. And I just love hearing what you have to say, what Carly has to say, what everybody has to say. But, you know, to have two people in a similar position, it's nice to hear the two different sides of the business. So thank you.
100%. It's been amazing to connect with other people and from a completely different team and downline and stuff. And hopefully Summit, we'll all be able to connect together. I'm hoping. But I love that you touched on that, like, you don't know the background of someone and like you don't know where they are in their lives. And I can't remember if I shared this with you guys or not. I think I shared it in one of our other push groups that we did, but there was a gal that did a team call for us a while back, and she was going through the worst time in her life, and she was sitting in a closet with a gun to her head, and she was going to end her life. And she got a message from her coach saying, "You are enough, you are loved." And she signed up to be a coach, and she is now like an amazing leader. And so that's just another reason why you need to share this with everybody. And no matter the response, Jenna, that you're going to get from those haters on social media, you literally don't know what people are going through. And I love that you touched on that, because we have such a gift to give to people, and it's just truly incredible to be a coach and to have this in their lives. So share this with everybody, and and you'll eventually get to diamond.
No, yeah, I agree. That's a really, really good point. You just never know. You just never know what someone needs, and you could be it at that right time. And if you aren't now, you might be. So yeah, I love that. And if you guys, oh, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay.
I was just gonna say amazing, yes. Yeah, and I'm guessing you was gonna say if you have any questions,
Yep.
drop it into the group chat.
Yep. If you have any questions, you know where to find us. I mean, I'll give you my address too. You guys should just come. You just come. So it's totally fine. We're all family. So, but yeah, any questions, let us know. We're here for anything, brainstorming, anything. I mean, whatever falls on that list. So, yeah.
100%. Okay, have a good Tuesday night, and thank you for hopping on, and we'll chat soon.
Bye. Thank you.